you're staying within the normal. There's a bird that literally swam through. Hey YouTube, welcome back. Today we're going to be covering supplementation, and no, I don't mean steroids. However, if you'd like to know which supplements could potentially help you achieve your goal, stay with me and we're about to find out. So let's talk about testosterone. Basically, no, anyway, so let's start off properly. So we're going to be covering protein, creatine, BCAAs, L-carnitine, and caffeine. Before we start, it's worth mentioning the weight loss pyramid, which diet pyramid, which you'll be seeing up here. So basically, as we can see, supplements are on top of the pyramid, which means they're not very important or important at all in order for us to be achieving your goal. If everything below here is not really on point, supplements are not going to make up for it. So I think this is worth acknowledging, and now we're going to proceed on. Basically, what we're going to proceed on with protein consumption. Now, as you're aware, protein is very important, not just for building muscle. However, it's also very important for a lot of biological processes that are happening within the body. So we should be really intaking a lot of protein, especially as we're aging, just to ensure that we're aging healthily. So most people think there's a bit of controversy when it comes to how much protein we should be consuming on a daily basis in order to be optimizing the process to achieve our goal. Now, there is a consensus going around the literature that everything above 1.6 grams per kilogram of protein consumption will be good enough for you to achieve your goal. Is there going to be any additional benefit of you consuming 2 grams, for example, or even 2.5? There isn't any evidence so far that really supports that hypothesis. So basically, everything above 1.6 will be good enough for you to achieve your goal. If you'd like to consume more, is this harmful or beneficial? It is definitely not harmful, because there is a bit of a myth going on that if you consume excessive amounts of protein, you might be damaging your kidneys. However, it has been proven by science that this is not actually true, and excessive amounts of protein are not harmful unless you're predisposed to a certain type of disease. Now, if you do meet your requirements for protein consumption through your diet, is there any additional benefit of you consuming protein through whey supplementation, for example? I don't think so. It's not going to contribute any further towards you achieving your goal. So, however, if you'd like some recipes that include whey protein, or you just like the taste of it, so you really like consuming it, therefore, there's no right or wrong here, by the way, but I think it's very subjective and it's very individualized. So it's worth acknowledging that it's not going to help you any further. However, it's not going to harm you in the same time as well. So just bear in mind the extra caloric intake if you do track your calories. So I think this is the only thing that it could have a significant effect on, especially if you're consuming 2 or 3 scoops per day. Nevertheless, if you're not consuming enough protein from your diet, then this is where protein supplementation can come in very handy, and it can make up for that gap that is occurring when it comes to protein consumption. So there's actually another reason why protein supplementation can be very helpful, and it comes down to leucine. So leucine is one of the 22 amino acids, and it's actually one of the 3 that are predominantly used within the BCAA supplements, and there is a specific reason why. There's a thing that is called the mTOR. The mTOR is all about cell growth and protein synthesis, which therefore optimizes the muscle growth process as well. The only way to initiate this process is through intaking about 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine, and if we do not consume this amount, basically we are not reaching the leucine threshold, which is required to be reached in order to activate the mTOR. So whey protein, and BCAAs, they can all contribute towards the initiation of the mTOR. However, there's a lot of literature out there that suggests if we do consume enough protein from our diet, we don't really need any BCAA supplementation, because we have already initiated the mTOR process. And if we do so, we can only initiate it twice via consuming BCAAs as well. Nevertheless, BCAA consumption can actually be beneficial in some cases. And for instance, if you do not have the opportunity to consume a protein-rich meal in the morning, then what you can do is you can supplement BCAAs, get enough leucine in order to initiate the mTOR, and then what you can do is just have a proper meal whatever you really could go for, and basically it's not going to be such of an issue that you haven't really consumed enough protein within this particular meal. So once again, the nutrition pyramid, as we could see in the beginning, it suggests that supplements are not actually essential whatsoever. They can just be added to our lifestyle as a tool, because if we do consume enough protein from our diet, then we don't really need to supplement neither with BCAAs or whey protein. So phosphate within the muscles could be combined with creatine, hence creating the phosphocreatine, which is a part of the energy source of the ATP-PC, which essentially is the main source for energy within our body. The phosphocreatine actually results in a very rapid energy production, which therefore could be very beneficial for certain athletes, such as sprinting or even powerlifting, because you need this rapid boost of energy, and supplementing creatine can actually be beneficial in this scenario. So we aren't really going to go into a lot of nerdy details here. However, we're just going to summarize with there's a lot of literature out there, and there's a consensus that creatine supplementation can really enhance one's performance when it comes to endurance and even strength. Nevertheless, there is a part of creatine which is not really discussed often, and it all comes down to satellite cell production. So let's talk about satellite cells up here. And before we start, it's worth highlighting that satellite cells are essential when it comes to muscle growth. Now, what we can see here is the muscle fiber, and there is black little dots that basically represent the satellite cells. Now, once we start training, the muscle fiber size is going to increase, and therefore there's going to be more satellite cells within this muscle fiber. Eventually, if we do decide to stop training, our muscle fiber is going to get back to whatever the size was before we started training. However, the satellite cell within the same muscle fiber are going to remain with the same amount. Now, if we eventually decide to start training once again, the muscle fiber is going to get back to where it was before quicker, because of the satellite cells within that muscle fiber. And this is basically what is called the muscle memory. Creatine has been shown to accelerate the satellite cell production rapidly, especially within the first 3 months of supplementing. However, once we supplement for prolonged periods, these effects start to diminish, and basically there's not really further benefit of us consuming in the long term. Now, what this suggests is that, for example, let's say we are going to supplement for about 3 months, maybe get off it for a month and then start going back at it again. I think this could be a very good approach to supplement creatine. However, what most people do is they just supplement creatine throughout the whole year, and there is no evidence to suggest that the creatine could potentially be harmful. So actually, it's not a bad approach itself as well. So let's move on to L-carnitine. And I really wanted to highlight this supplement because what most females do tend to believe is really helps fat loss. However, as we can see up here, basically it doesn't really. And also, I'm not saying it's a bad supplement. However, I don't think it's being utilized for whatever it's supposed to be doing. It can be very beneficial when it comes to sperm quality. So if you want to have babies, that's the way to go, I suppose. Basically, however, if you are a female who really wants to go for fat loss, I don't think you really need to improve. But in general, I'm not saying it's a bad supplement, but it's not really affecting fat loss in any way. However, it may slightly improve your endurance. So if you want to look at it that perspective, then probably it can be beneficial. However, as I mentioned, not really beneficial for fat loss in general. Is it really worth it paying more money to get the pre-workout rather than consuming normal coffee when it comes to caffeine consumption? I don't think there is an extra benefit from us doing so. Obviously, there is some creatine and vitamins within the pre-workout as substances. However, I don't think there is significant amounts of them for us to benefit greatly. However, if you do like the taste better, and it really gives you this psychological boost of, you know what, I had the pre-workout, so it's going to be great. That's okay. Once again, it's no wrong or right here, but I'm just highlighting that you're not really going to get these extra benefits of consuming the pre-workout rather than consuming normal coffee in general. And especially if you cannot afford to buy the pre-workout, but you're really doing so just because you think it's very beneficial. Well, it's not really. So just have the normal coffee. Guys, if you do have anything else in mind, such as supplements that you might be thinking about, please let me know and I'll be answering within the comment section. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time.